Hey folks, it's Echo. In this episode of my design series, I'm going to teach you how to take an existing world or save file and spice it up a little bit by adding in a POI to it. This could be a custom POI that you found out in the community. This could also be maybe a Horde base that you have exported from another world that you just want to include. So in this case, I'm in my test world. I wanted to use this so you could see that there's existing things that I built here. And then I'm going to pick a spot up here right next to the trader. We're going to use this big open area here, and we're going to bring in my farm that I developed on my community server. Hey buddy, what's going on down there? So we're going to place it right down here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find your spot that you want to place it in your save world. And then you're going to want to pull up the map and take a look at the coordinates. So you can see we're right around 1150 east by 10 north. So let's just note that. And then let's bounce over and show you how to bring the files in first. To add a custom POI, you're going to need to know two things. Number one, you're going to need to have the file. In this case, I'm going to use the Echo Farm zip from my other video that I'll link above on how you export your POIs out of an existing world. And then you're going to need to know the location where you're going to place these. So if you go in Steam to 7 Days to Die and right click and then go to properties, you're going to come to local files here and then click on that. And then you're going to browse to your local files, and that's going to pull up location. Under that, you're going to have a folder called data. So double click on that to open it up. And then under that, you're going to have a folder called prefabs. Now, depending upon whether you've got compo pack or other things in the past, or you've added a bunch like I have here, because I do a lot of testing in here, you'll have different prefabs that you'll see listed. So once you have this open, you're going to go to the file. Typically it's going to be a zip or maybe another type of compressed file like a RAR. And you're going to open that up, and you should have 4 files in here. You're going to have this TTS, XML, Nimrod, and INS file. In some cases, if you're getting this from my Patreon, it might have additional files in here because I might include some other ones. You don't need to drop and drag those. Those will be some design tips and things like that. So you grab these 4 and you're just going to copy it over here into your Prefabs folder. Once we've done this, we're going to jump on over to the Prefab editor just to confirm that the farm loaded there correctly. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your Prefab got loaded into your library, and you're going to come into here into editing tools, and then you're going to come first to this Prefab editor and let it load. So once this is all loaded up, in this case, it's going to bring you to whichever POI you were last editing. It might be a blank screen. In my case, it was the first test castle that I built. So press escape in either case. Come over here to the 4th tab, which is your prefab browser. And then under here, in my case, I'm pulling up Echo Farm. So I'm going to go ECO, and there's Echo Farm, and I can see that it is in here. Let's just make sure. Click load down here to bring it in. Nope, I don't care about my changes. So here we know now that we have this POI that has been pulled in. So we can use this to place in a world. So that's step 1. Now that we've confirmed that we have this POI added, we're going to go over into the world file that we're using for my test bed. So let's get out of here. You can save, exit, whatever you want to do. So we're going to exit back out of here, go back to the main menu. And from here, we're going to go into editing tools, and we're going to go to world editor. Now, it's important that you know which world you're going to be editing. In this case, let's go take a look back. So if I'm in here, this was a copy, which I also recommend. If you're going to try adding a new POI to a world, always make a copy of that world first. And if you need to know how to do that, just ask down in the comments. Maybe I'll put together a quick tutorial on how to do that. But here is the name of the world that we're talking about. So Echo A20 test map. So let's come back into our editing tools in world editor. And here we have Echo A20 test map. So let's open that up. Okay, so when you spawn in, you're going to see all this weird greenness around you. And you're also going to notice that the game takes a little bit to load in, and it's going to be sluggish. Now, looking around, I can see the trader over here. So I'm already kind of in the location that I wanted, but we'll just confirm, pull up the map and look, we're right around that 1150 by 10 north that we were targeting. So we're just going to start by placing the eco farm right here. Now, I will say that you need to watch out for some of these rocks and trees and whatnot. So you might want to clear out a little bit of the area. There's a couple different ways you can do that. The quick way to do it is probably to just come over here and use the Z command and highlight a good chunk. So we're just going to come here, get rid of most of the trees in the way, get rid of the rocks just on this one level. So we'll go all the way across here, something like that. And then I'm just going to hit J and it's going to clear all that out for us. So now we have a nice clear space to put the farm down in. And hopefully we don't overlap with any of the trees that are out there. So we're going to start in this corner here. Again, we're going to press Z and that's going to create the little blue box here. We're going to press K and then click on dynamic prefabs. Over here, we're going to make sure we're in the 4th tab over, which is the prefab browser. And we're going to type in whatever the name of the POI we want to bring in. In this case, we're bringing in Echo Farm. And then we're going to just click place down here. All right. And you can see it drops it in. Not quite where we wanted it. It looks like it's on top of that tree. So let's get it placed appropriately. So you're going to hold down G and that's going to bring up these little handlebars here. Let me go up a little bit. You can see a little bit better. So you can just drag this and move it across into that nice open space that you have there. And then you can rotate it by pressing X. So we're going to flip it around till it faces us. And then we're going to line it up so that those fence posts meet nicely across the front there. That looks pretty good. Other than elevation wise, it looks like it needs to come down one. So again, we'll hold G and grab this top elevation marker and bring it down. Did I get the right one? There we go. Bring it down 1. And that looks like we're lined up pretty nicely here. So once we've done that, we're going to hit K to bring us back into the prefab, and then we're going to hit apply. Okay. And it looks like we did have some extra fencing here that we might want to get rid of. So if you end up with some stuff like this where you just want to clean that up, you can always come in here, press U, and it'll bring up the creative menu and type dev. And you can find this super digger. So we'll take one of these out and put it in our inventory and just real quick. Now you got to be inside the POI area to get it. So we'll just get rid of this. Oh, didn't mean to do that, but we can always clean up, fill that in later. Okay. Let's just get that last little bit. Doesn't look like it makes much sense in the world. Okay. So here we have the POI placed appropriately. Now here's where things get a little bit squirrely. So I always like I said, I had us hit apply before, so that's grayed out now. I also like to come in here and just type CR. And by coming here, I pressed F1 to bring up the console, and I'm going to press CR to reload the chunk just to make sure that everything looks appropriate. Okay. And now lastly, before we do anything, we're going to hit escape and we're going to save the world. And you'll see down here, it says world saved. You want to see that before you exit out. Now is where things get a little bit squirrely because it looks like it's placed perfectly. And this is how we'd want it to spawn into our save game or save to the map if we were going to create a new world using this, a new save game using this world. So we're going to exit out of here. And then we're going to reload. We're going to go back into the editing tools here and go back to that world editor and back to this A20 test map that we created. And we're going to look at it again because my hunch after hours and hours of testing this is every time it is going to reverse that placement orientation and that you'll have to go back in and fix it. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we've spawned in, and just as I predicted, It is facing backwards, but no concerns here. We can correct this. So we're just going to come up here. We're going to left click while pointing at it, and it's going to highlight it that bright green. And then while it's highlighted like this, we're going to hit X twice to rotate it 2 times, 1 and 2. And you're going to notice it looks a little funky. It looks like it's duplicated it on top of itself. Don't worry about that. We're going to come in here and we're going to press K and we're going to click apply. Okay. And you see it reversed all of that. And then just to be super sure, again, I'm going to press F1 and I'm going to go up here and type CR to reload the chunk. Make sure everything looks good. And then we are going to save the game, see this world saved, exit out. And just for safety, we're going to check one last time, editing tools, world editor. We're almost done, and load it back up. So as my testing has shown, this did correct our situation and we have the farm facing in the right direction. I am not sure why this works the way it does. I did post some questions back to the Fun Pimps on their forums, and if I find anything out, I will let you know in the comments if there is an easier method of correcting this. But in any case, we are good to go. This is loaded into this world, and all we need to do is reload this chunk area inside of our save game to have the farm appear in our game. So we're going to jump out of here since we know that this is placed properly, and we're going to continue in our A20 test bed that we have here. We'll let this load up, and then we should be able to go ahead and place the farm pretty easily. All right, so here we are in the test world. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type DM to put debug mode on, and then I'm going to hit Q to put me into God mode. And I'm going to fly over to the location where we were placing this. So there's our castle. You can see we've got some of the other test bits that I've done over there. So we're going to fly right over here to this corner where we wanted the farm to pop up. So we'll pop right down in here. And it was about right here. And we'll go ahead and hit F1 again, and we're going to hit CR, and this is going to reload the current chunk we're in. And just like that, bam, we have a farm that we've brought in here. And additionally, if you take a look, we still have all of my test bits here. We've got the castle still over there. So it did not change any of the surrounding areas here. It left everything that we had worked prior in place. So folks, that right there is how you take a custom POI and add it to an existing save world. If you have any questions, please engage down in the comments below. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing. Additionally, I wanted to let you know that the key reason that I put together this set of videos here on importing and exporting is because I'm going to be releasing my Horde bases out to the community via Patreon. So look forward to that in the near future. All right, folks, take care, everyone. Echoes out.